Guillermo Mash here from the November 16th Without a Roof radio program here on KZFR 90.1 FM, People Powered Radio. My distinct pleasure to be talking with someone that I had a wonderful interview with, Jon Linton from the I Have a Name project out of Arizona. And that's a page that he's been managing about 7-8 years now that has over 70-some thousand likes on the page. But with no further ado, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, Jon Linton, for our audience and talk a little bit about Let's Be Better Human campaign.
Sure. Thanks for inviting me on the show, Guillermo. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and your audience. My name is Jon Linton. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I am the founder of an art and advocacy project called I Have a Name, and essentially, as we know, that's, well, as some may know, it's a project that started in an effort to give a voice to those that are living on the street. The Let's Be Better Humans end of things is an outgrowth of that initial effort. It is kind of it's a more expansive iteration of what began as an effort to help the homeless, and I decided to move the project not away from homelessness, but it occurred to me that, frankly, a lot of things need a voice and a name, and Let's Be Better Humans hopefully will help provide that opportunity.
Yeah, I know Jon and I talked a couple of weeks ago. You called me middle of the night. We talked a little bit about compassion fatigue, and Jon had talked about some things that were moving him in a direction, and it was so interesting because it was like a day after Jon, I had made this post on Facebook to my followers kind of saying the same thing, man. This stuff, I don't know, it's an age-old term, it's hard, but it begins to wear on you. You see so many stories, and you're involved in so many people's lives, and you see so much pain. What can we do together as humans to be better humans and to kind of focus our energies elsewhere? So I've kind of shifted gears as well, Jon Linton. So
it's interesting. You're right, and that conversation wasn't too long ago. And compassion fatigue is, I'd heard it kind of thrown around from a lot of people that are working around social causes, and I thought, what exactly is compassion? I can't imagine that's really could happen. And I can tell you that over the years now, it's caught up to me a few times, and you get worn down, and you give, and you do, and your tank at times can become a little bit more than a little bit empty, and all too often, especially around the issue. And I don't, whether it's working to cast a light on the issues around homelessness or whatever the concern is, whether it's single mothers that are working 3 jobs for $7 an hour and they're trying to raise their kids, or a woman that's been a survivor of sexual abuse or domestic abuse, no matter the cause, or whether it's veterans. You wear this pain home sometimes like it's your own, and it has a way of catching up to you. And in part, Let's Be Better Humans, I needed something for myself. I needed to do something that would elevate my spirit. I'd gotten to the point just over the last 60 to 90 days where, I almost that was it. I've done this for a number of years, and I don't feel like I need to apologize to anybody for the way that I'm feeling or where I'm currently at in terms of my frame of mind. We've humbly accomplished a few things, and I'd almost had enough. And this Let's Be Better Humans message that I'd created last year at this time, actually, I'd been hashtagging on the page for a couple of years now, Let's Be Better Humans, at the end of a post for the I Have a Name project. Right. And I'd created a shirt that I thought might be interesting in terms of its messaging, subject to that hashtag. And I thought, I'll buy a few shirts and maybe we'll create something that's, interesting as far as a message is concerned. I thought the message was interesting, and I didn't know how people would receive it. So I thought I'll do this shirt. We'll throw this message out in kind of the public space, and if we sell a few shirts, I could buy a Christmas meal for some homeless veterans. And we sold a few shirts, man. So during this period of time that I've had recently where I became, really kind of emotionally bottomed out and out of energy, as I mentioned just minutes ago, I needed something that would elevate my spirits. And this Let's Be Better Humans movement that I hope, effort or initiative that I hope will become a movement was born. So it won't be drilled down just singularly in a singular sense into homelessness. Let's Be Better Humans can mean a lot of things, different things to each and every one of us. So whether it's helping somebody that's on the street or it's helping somebody with their groceries out of the supermarket that's elderly, we're all in this together, man. This place that we call Earth, this planet that we inhabit, and ultimately, I think we're here to help one another. I hope. To help one another in this walk through an understanding or just living here on this planet. So
where are you at with your campaign?
Where are we at with it right now? Organically, some interesting things have happened just since we've had the occasion to speak. And it's a cute story, man. A woman that owns a holistic school here in Tempe, Arizona, a lady that has followed the I Have a Name project around for a period of time from the standpoint of filmmaking and videography. She's working on, hopefully, a documentary. She teaches at this holistic school, and she was wearing one of the Let's Be Better Human shirts that I'd done last year. The owner has a sister who works in the bookstore in this school, and she had called me and asked me if she could buy a few shirts for the school. She thought it'd be an interesting thing to offer the students. And I said, sure. So they bought a few shirts, and then the owner of the school saw the shirts. And she called me into her office, called a meeting, and had me into her office a few weeks ago. And she wanted to pay me an adoption fee because she thought that she might create a piece of curriculum that they would offer the students called Let's Be Better Humans, or something loosely shaped around that phrase. And she wanted to do the right thing and pay for the use of that phrasing. And frankly, I said to her, I don't really see any need to. I'm humbled that you want to do this. I don't feel a proprietary kind of ownership around this. It's it's beautiful that you'd like to do it. Please just adopt it and take it and create that curriculum, and that's lovely. We had an exchange, and it went back and forth, and she was insistent, and I was equally argumentative in terms of just wanting to give it to her. And she said, well, what else do you want to do? And I said, well, I've got a lot of ideas. I'd like to do a film. I'd like to launch a line of merchandise. I'd like to buy a bus and go on essentially a Let's Be Better Humans tour, where we go to different cities initially around the West Coast, and where we would hand out Let's Be Better Humans T-shirts on college campuses, interview kids that are on campus, because I think that unfortunately the liability that we've provided them and what we've done to this planet and what we've done culturally and from a societal standpoint, they've got a pretty tough road in front of them. But I have every hope and confidence that these will be these millennial group will be, in my opinion, the generation that heals this planet. Highly idealistic, but I am committed to that belief. So we're going to take this message on the road. We're going to talk to kids on campus. We're going to hand them shirts, and we're going to ask them what being a better human means to them. We're going to capture that content in the effort of creating a documentary, and at the same time, we'll look into those communities that we travel into for evidence of whether it's an individual effort or whether it's an organizational effort that exemplifies what being a better human looks like in that community. And we'll also then keeping this committed to, in some ways, to the place that it started. Around the issue of homelessness, we're going to do outreach in the cities that we travel into. And Bombas, which is a sock company that has adopted the Tom's giving model, and that's what we'll do with our merchandise effort as well, that for everything that we sell, we'll give a shirt to the needy. Well, Bombas is a company that for every sock that they sell, they give a sock to those that are in need, and they've committed a couple thousand pair of socks that we'll be able to give to those that are on the street, whether we're in Las Vegas or Los Angeles or San Diego, Tucson, or Phoenix, and so we'll do outreach along the way with water, with socks, and with conversations for folks that are living on the street as well. So that's a lot.
We're going to try to make sure you come to Chico. This is the college town. I was just doing some radio work with Alex Kokonaka. She's a lecturer at Chico State, and I mentioned this project. She saw the shirts. She loves the shirts, and she's like, oh, we need to make sure we can get him set up with speaking arrangements, and maybe he can speak with some of the students on campus. So, I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about in the car driving back from a filming that we did. Jon Linton?
I'm hopeful that this will resonate with folks, and there's already, ironically enough, the bus is stationary at this point, but I'm thoughtful that, all of us, we strive for, for purpose, for understanding, to hear and to be heard, to see and to be seen. And I'm hoping that Let's Be Better Humans will resonate with people, that this can become, quietly a movement that's just really a reminder and one thing, and it's that we exist, like I said earlier, for one another, and that we might be able to help bring a return to human dignity. It seems to have been lost somewhere, at least in recent times, and I hope that we can create, again, it's a lot of poetry, Guillermo, but a revolution in love and humanity, because that's what it's all about. Maybe we can leave the world, each and every one of us, just a little better place than we found it. So it's a big idea, and I'm a bit dreamy, but I won't apologize for being dreamy, and if my head is in a real lofty kind of place, and I've thought, oh my goodness, can this happen? Or is my head just in the clouds with this? Well, I think it's okay to live in that space some days. And
I think they said Kennedy was too dreamy when he said we're going to put a man on the moon. I think he, right. If you can put a man on the moon, we can help shape people's dignity and the ability to kind of look at each and every one of us as humans. And I see when I wear those shirts, people react to them. I get reactions. I get people coming up to me. I get people looking at them. I get people smiling. I get thumbs up because I think it resonates. Well, I think it touches a place in everyone's heart where they weren't treated as a human.
Well, yes, and we all have each and every one of us, no matter who we are. I mean, we've got a lot to do just that, to become a better human. We're all human beings with failings and with celebrations, and we can strive to be better, each and every one of us, and that's the idea. I wander a bit, and forgive me, but as I've mentioned, this bus, while it's stationary at present, there's a lot of movement already. It's parked right now near the ASU campus in Tempe, Arizona, and I decided, because we had so many people that were walking by the bus as we were painting this bus recently with this Let's Be Better Humans message, people were curious, what the heck is going on? So you explain it, and once Let's Be Better Humans is on the bus, it requires no more explanation. It's there. It's there. It's a declaration that doesn't need any definition. Nope. And then you get people walking by and with a peace sign and a hell yes, and I've had people now come aboard the bus, and we're going to have people sign the bus as not only a declaration or a pledge that they are embracing not only of this initiative, but they'll adopt the notion of becoming, as each and every one of us, as I said, can. A Let's Be Better Humans philosophy. So we've had a lot of signatures on the interior of the bus, and I hope that this bus will look like a magical piece of street graffiti by the time we get back to Phoenix after we embark upon this, maiden voyage here after the first year.
That's what I wanted to speak to, because we were talking. I was this young lady. I call her young lady. She's 29. But we were talking about the fact that this break is coming up, the holiday break. The colleges won't be back until the middle of January. So, but I was thinking, I mean, there's no reason that we couldn't do some filming around exactly what you just described, John. You could send me some shirts, and we can do some filming on Chico State Campus here in Chico of people's reactions to Let's Be Better Humans and what they have to say about that.
I would love to do that. I'm looking right now for a shirt sponsor, and I think that we're real close to a few yeses. And as soon as we get the proper funding, I'll send you a bunch of shirts that you can hand out, because the sooner that this message really gets on kind of the backs of people, you become a walking ambassador for a message that's really important for people to see, and then also take action around. I mean, it's from the I Have a Name project that when I've had the shirts there for a year now, and I've at different times made them available for purchase, and the interesting thing that I've experienced is that I thank each and every person that has made a purchase, but I ask them to send me a sentence about what being a better human means, and it's been amazing to see what that has provided. And folks have started backpack drives in their communities. They've gone out and fed the homeless. They've gone and visited the hospitals and spent time with veterans. There were a group of kids, some high school kids, that actually did some gardening in the cemetery. Just some really remarkable things. So I'm excited to see how this will unfold. It's exciting, and at the same time, a little bit scary, because there is this big unknown that's out there. But life's full of mysteries, and we'll see what happens. Thank
goodness, too. Some of my best experiences have been mysteries.
They have, and I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged to see Ann Cabano, who's been following the I Have a Name project around now for a little bit with a camera. I think some of the unscripted moments that we've had have been the magic. Last year when we made our way to San Francisco, I had a Christmas tree on top of the truck, and the intention was, to deliver that Christmas tree to someone that was in need, or out on Skid Row. And we got turned around in San Francisco, and I went under an underpass, and there was an encampment there with 5 men that were sleeping outside and making a home underneath the freeway, and I was lost, and I saw them, and we stopped the car and delivered a Christmas tree to some men that were really surprised that somebody had stopped to give a Christmas gift to some men that it was just magic.
Being a better human, man. Being a better human is certainly magical. Right. We're talking with Jon Linton. We're just about ready to wrap up, but I'm going to start doing some legwork here and talking to some folks that are excited about the shirts, that know your project, and see what we can do about putting something together on the campus for when they get back from the break, man.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
We're going to do
really
it.
Lovely.
There's no question. I'm not going to say this on the radio without doing it. We're going to do it. Well, so I got some ideas around it. We can talk a little bit offline. So maybe if you can end with 30 seconds, maybe a couple of those sentences of people. Do you remember a few that you could just read to our audience? The people have said what it means to be a better human, Jon Linton.
Well, we had an event here in Phoenix on Friday night, and a filmmaker here in town at an eatery in Phoenix, we decided to interview folks and asked people to come out, and drew people in that were off the street, and we asked that very question to about 85 folks that were in Phoenix, Arizona on a Friday evening. Some that were aware of what we were doing, and many that were not. And what I can tell you, by and large, I mean, there were a lot of responses, but underneath it all, I mean, there was one common thread that ran through it. It was just, it's a 4-letter word called love. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
All right, Jon Linton, I can't wait. Yeah, we're going to get you to come to Chico. We're going to get this to happen, man. I want to give Jon Linton a hug, man. These cyber hugs, everyone talks about cyber hugs, but ain't nothing like a real hug, is there?
No, there is not. No, there is not. No.
All right, my friend.
I appreciate your time tonight. I really do.
Yeah, same here. It's always a highlight to be able to talk with someone that has a beautiful heart as Jon Linton and the followers of Jon Linton's I Have a Name project. Look them up. They're a Facebook page. And I think you've probably got a prominent click button on your page for your shirts, right?
You can go to the Instagram page, which is the I Have a Name Project, and in the profile there on Instagram, there's a link, and there's an Etsy store that I created that has the shirts on it presently. So you can find it on Etsy.
Blessings to you, Jon Linton.
Always.
Peace out.